We are going to basically kind of just get you up to speed with what NFTs are. I think most times when I talk about it, I feel as though like most people think I'm just speaking another language, but I promise you it's not as complicated as it seems sometimes. And it's very interesting. So I think we can actually get started. Like I said, this is my first cohort. So I'm so glad to have you guys on board. I hope you guys are in Discord as well, but we'll get into that in a bit later. So go to the next page. Welcome again. But yeah, so the materials you actually need for class today is positive attitude, ask questions, please, please, please ask questions. I remember being back in school when I'd never ask questions because I didn't want to appear like I didn't know what was going on or that my question was silly. There's no such thing. There's going to be terms that you may not really understand. And even if that is, just remember, we've also gotten some resources up until this point. This morning, in case you didn't see my email, I did send out an email with like a little glossary list, but I'm happy for us to also go through some key terms later on in the session. Yeah, please feel free to make notes, but just remember that you guys will obviously get this recording of the session. Sometimes, you know, when you're making notes, you are just instinctively writing, but you might not actually be following along. So just make sure that if you are taking notes, feel free, but you'll get this presentation. You will get some extra materials and resources in the new week. And you can also have a browser ready, whether you use Chrome. I use Chrome. I know Safari, typically, you know, if you've got a MacBook, you use Safari, but I quite like Chrome, and I'll explain why later. Also, we've got a personal starter kit for reference. It's just got some links to some stuff that you might need to open later on. And just know that we're going to take plenty of breaks, little 10-minute, 5-minute breaks here and there. We're going to have a break for lunch as well. And we're going to have like a proper break time in like 15 to 20 minutes as well. So just know that the class is broken up into sections and segments. So don't, my goal is not for you guys to feel overwhelmed. Right, okay, so our objectives are to basically understand what NFT is, be able to recognize different types of NFTs, know why to buy an NFT, to understand when to buy and sell, minting versus secondary, practices for safety, knowing how to set up a digital wallet, how to use Discord, and obviously our primary end goal is for everyone to make a first sale. That would be when you actually graduate the class. And I have like these really cute graduation certificates for you guys as well. So sorry, I'm proper cheesy. And yeah, sorry, my number one rule, when in doubt, ask. Please, 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 when in doubt, ask. Because a lot of time you might think, okay, you know what, I'll just catch up with it later, but then you're just increasing your workload. So if it's something that we can tackle now, let's please tackle it now. Right, lesson 1, actually, you guys have a timetable, so you can always use your timetable for reference. But lesson 1 is, what the hell is an NFT? So we're going to go through what NFT is, you know, why they're worth so much money, why they even have value, and why is it like this technological revolution. And we're going to understand crypto and crypto assets. The way I built this course is because it's in a way whereby you don't actually have to have had any experience at all of crypto. But it would be interesting, actually, if you don't mind dropping in the chat, if you've ever had any type of experience of crypto whatsoever. Have you ever downloaded crypto.com? Have you heard of Coinbase? Have you, up until this point, have you had any idea what NFTs are? Have you seen a TikTok about crypto? Have you ever read an article? Any type of experience you've had alongside NFT or crypto, please let me know. It'd be nice for us to all share in the chat. Welcome to those who are also new. I see that I think 4 extra people have joined. So hi, nice to see you. You have not missed much, don't worry about it. So yeah, if you've ever had like any little experience, I'd love to read it, and I'm pretty sure everybody else would love to read it as well. So just leave something in the chat. Right, I'm gonna go to my next page. Right. So, perfect. So what is an NFT? So NFT actually stands for non-fungible token. And in plain English, that means it's a one-of-a-kind digital asset. So when you own an NFT, you can choose to store it because you are like a long-term investor, or you can simply just keep it because you really love the art. A lot of my best purchases has actually been because I genuinely like the art. So you can also sell it and turn a profit, which is what a lot of people do. In the space, maybe you'll be known as someone that's a flipper. So you buy and sell NFTs to basically flip them for profit, which is good. For artists, NFTs allow them to enjoy creator royalties. So for example, if you're an artist, a digital artist, you should definitely consider, or physical artist or photographer, you should definitely consider converting your stuff into NFTs. Likewise, if you own a business, you're into retail or you sell things, you can actually convert your stuff, your items into digital tokens, which can be sold. And what's the amazing thing about that is that you have creator royalties and they're for a lifetime. So if you make a successful project, you could actually live off your project. So on Magic Eden and OpenSea, every time an NFT sells and passes hands, as in it goes from Mr. NFT, for example, goes from person A to person B, the creator will benefit of like the royalty of that sale. And obviously the people who are buying it, the person that bought it will get the NFT, and the person that sold it will get the relevant cryptocurrency or the relative payment for it. And it's actually done by something called smart contracts, which means person A and person B don't actually have to discuss. There is no dialogue. For example, when I sell stuff on Depop, you know, you may get questions about the item that you're buying. You know, people want to ask you, can I get this a little bit less, or you run like a sale on your stuff? It doesn't really work like in that sense. Once you list an item for a particular price, as long as it's relative to the floor price, it's okay. If you don't know what that means, I'll explain later. As long as it's relative and it's actually an NFT that there is demand for, it will sell for that price without person A and person B having to discuss. And there is no such thing as disputing or refunding or, you know, wanting to take an item back or canceling. It's all done electronically on the blockchain. So yeah, use cases for NFTs are plentiful as well. You know, there are gaming NFTs, music NFTs, real estate NFTs, and much more. We will discuss that in further detail further along. And a prominent use case for NFTs is actually that it establishes proof of ownership for digital art, which opens up a new avenue for artists. Now, proof of ownership is extremely important because sometimes that is what we find is difficult with physical items. We cannot always actually authenticate them. As you know, there's lots of replicas, and you know, people are divided on replicas. You know, they think, oh no, you shouldn't replicate something, it's not original. But a lot of time, everything in life is really just perception. People could see something and be like, okay, I see this bag and it's got Louis Vuitton on it, so I'm just going to presume it's a Louis Vuitton bag, not knowing that it could have actually come from DHgate. So something like that, but you actually view it the same and you think it has the exact same value, even though you don't actually know the source from which where the bag came. Also, another thing, that conspiracy that I hear a lot of times is that reps and fakes are actually mixed on websites like StockX, or when people are not trained in authenticity properly. You do not actually have that problem when it comes to digitalized tokens. Why? Because everything actually has like a number and a reference that is actually associated with it. So you cannot pass fakes for real. And that authenticity and that proof of ownership, whereby every NFT is registered to a particular owner and no one can fake owning an NFT. Why? Because it will show in the wallet address. Everything adds up and everything has a code and a reference. So that way, it's very important because people are glad to have assets that they know that cannot be fake and can only be associated to themselves. So that kind of creates what we call digital scarcity. We'll dive into that a bit more later. If there's any question, please, 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 always feel free to just like interrupt me, ask me a question. I love to answer questions as well. I just seen something in the chat. Oh, Jody Ann said, hi, I can't hear anything. Is that still the case, Jody? And Brenda, yes, I've had experience with crypto. Oh, fair enough. Please, anybody else, let me know if you've had any experience with crypto as well. So things won't sound so, I guess, strange to you. Right. So in the last slide, I explained that, you know, NFT actually stands for non-fungible token, but I find sometimes people are actually confused as to what that actually means. So I'd like to go over that. So what does fungible mean? In simple terms, a fungible good is an item that is mutually interchangeable with one another, and money is a good example. So like if you have a tenner, £10 note, it's worth the exact same as any other £10 note, despite, you know, the serial number being different, the date of print being different, you know, in terms of when it was issued. They have these minor distinctions, but they are still fungible. You can still swap one for another. And it actually has the exact same worth as two £5 notes. They are also equally fungible, so you can exchange them for one another. So obviously money is something that facilitates transactions in our daily lives, and it's also tangible, which means I can actually touch it, you know, I can touch it. So, sorry, my hair is so long. I got my hair done in Nigeria, so it's just like, I apologize. But yeah, so on the other hand, we have stuff like vehicles. So what am I talking about in general? I'm talking about items and assets and things that have value, right? Because I'm trying to explain really what an NFT is, like a token, what that actually means. So you have other types of assets that are things of value, which is cars, you know, cars, standard cars, luxury cars, whatever, vehicles as a whole. Well, vehicles, you've got art. Art has always been a big thing, you know, art and art is beautiful. Why? Because it has historical value, it has aesthetic value, it has cultural value, all these different things. And you've also got like houses as well. So what I'm trying to explain is that when you have non-fungible items, they are not interchangeable for one another. So a vehicle, even though a Toyota Prius and a Tesla are both vehicles, you can't swap them for each other. They don't have the same value. Do you know what I mean? The Tesla specs are going to be completely different to the Toyota Prius specs, right? And they're going to be made in different years. Even like if you get two Toyota Priuses next to each other, they're not going to be exactly the same. You know, their tank size might be different. You have cars that are diesel, cars that are petrol. We've got all these different things, so they vary. They're not. Sorry, excuse me, that's so ill-mannered. Sorry, that's my Bible app. But yeah, so you have like these things that are not exchangable for each other. And I always give an example of houses. So like my house here wouldn't be an equivalent to your house. Our interior is different, our room sizes are different. I might be closer to a train station than you, and all that type of stuff. When a surveyor comes or like a property developer comes, they will equate our houses to have completely different values, even though they are both homes. So obviously one might be modern built, one might have brick, you know, so all these things are different. Like I see this all the time. You can see a new build in a place, it'll be new build, it'll be like maybe like over $500,000. And you see an old build, maybe have even bigger rooms because now everybody does open plan. I literally gone to a viewing the other day and the open plan was ridiculous. But that's a story for another day. But yeah, so I recently went to an open build and saw like, wow, this place has like $500,000. And then I live in an old build, but I've got like quadruple the space here. And yet mine is valued at like just under 400 grand. So all it is, I say all this to say that these two items are examples of stuff that are not fungible. Money is tangible and fungible. Cars, vehicles, houses are non-fungible but tangible, meaning I can touch it, right? So which brings me on to this graph, right? I think this chart makes it a bit easier to understand. So let's check out this chart below. We've got Bitcoin and Ethereum. So top left-hand corner, Bitcoin and Ethereum. Those are the symbols for Bitcoin and Ethereum. As you are now officially in this space, you'll probably get used to seeing these signs over here. Like Bitcoin is like the baba of crypto because it came first. Fun fact, if you bought $1,000 worth of Bitcoin in 2007, you would have made 50 million. But yeah, so Bitcoin is a intangible but fungible token, and so is Ethereum. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, all these cryptocurrencies, two things I'll tell you. First one being is obviously Bitcoin came first, and anything that is not Bitcoin is considered an altcoin. Don't worry about it. I'll explain more later. But these are tokens that are fungible, but they're intangible. So you can't touch Bitcoin. You know, it's not like cash or a debit card. It's something that it very much exists, but you just can't actually touch it. But one Bitcoin is always going to be equal to another Bitcoin. Same goes for Ethereum. One Ethereum is always going to be equal to another Ethereum. Another one is, you know, our daily coins, our coins in our gold. One gold bar is equal to another one gold bar, as long as they're weighted the same, just like our coins and our cash. These are exchangeable, and these are actually ones that we can touch as well. So you can see they are both fungible, but one is intangible, being the one that's actually completely digitalized. And then the other one is something that's actually physical. In that same breath, we have now, because especially because we are actually in this ever evolving, I don't know if you guys see it, but it's getting to a point where I don't know if like we will even need each other anymore, because in the sense that we are growing in this technology age so quickly, and things that were hard before, you know, are just becoming like these momentary leaps. I don't know if you guys read articles about like, you know, artificial intelligence, how incredibly smart AI is becoming, how people are even downloading their personalities and their being from Microsoft, how Facebook has changed their name to Meta, how the world is changing and evolving. I have an Oculus. So I've actually kind of gone into like the new kind of, I suppose, world that is in like VR, whereby I could literally be a Pokemon character and I could change into like some anime girl. And it's so crazy. I can actually see my reflection. And in that world, I am this Pokemon or I am this like anime girl. And I can walk, I can see land, I can go to places, go to different venues, stuff like that. After a while, you do get dizzy. But it's scary and it's great as well, because we are in like this virtual reality and augmented reality. And when people say stuff like Web3, it just means the continuation and extension of the internet. So this is like the new phase where we're going to. You'll find now that, especially now that you're in the space, you'll see websites still have .io. Something to consider if you maybe want an online business, to go .io, because .com is like of yesterday. So yeah, it's incredible. It's also quite fast as well, and it's hard to keep up sometimes. So that's why sessions like this are great, because it will bring you up to speed with other stuff that's going on, because it's really hard sometimes to keep up with everything that's going on. But yeah, our world is becoming increasingly digitalized. And now, so having items that are intangible is becoming very common. That is what has caused this massive boom in NFTs. And you can see, I don't know if you guys recognize, but that's the copyright symbol. And the reason why I put the copyright symbol there is because it's something that it's an asset to have a copyright. Man, if any of you are creators, copyright will swipe your leg. Even if you try to speed up the soundbite, slow it down, or like, you know, change the bass of it, like try actually just mix it in Final Cut Pro or wherever you edit iMovie, copyright will always swipe your leg. Why? Because it's like almost like having a patent. Somebody owns this, it's their right, and they will get royalties off it regardless of wherever it's used. So copyright is one of those things. It's intangible. You can't, you know, touch copyright, see copyright, but it's very much real, and it's non-fungible as well. You cannot exchange copyright. Same goes for an NFT. That's a little NFT over there. It may look like a cat. I'm pretty sure that cat sold for like 3 million. But yeah, so it's a cat. It's an NFT of a cat that's just like swimming. Don't ask me, long story. But yeah, it's a non-fungible and intangible token. So yeah, I think I always give the example to say that, you know, for example, even like our Instagram accounts or our YouTube accounts, they're not something that's physical. You know, you can't like walk and touch your YouTube or your Instagram or your TikTok. It's very much real, and you post stuff on there and you own stuff on there, and whatever you put on there is it's your content. Do you know what I mean? So it's very much real. So yeah. Any questions? Let me also just check the chat as well, just in case I've been missing anything. Okay, Jodie, I'm glad you can hear now. Sorry I missed the start. Don't apologize at all. I'm just glad to have you here. Please don't apologize at all. You haven't missed much, and if anything, you can always watch the playback as well. Sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I should not be sipping fizzy drinks in the morning. I feel like a little sugar buzz. Right. I just wanted to show you some examples and illustrations. So this is like a very popular one on the far left. It's called the Bored Ape Yacht Club. Very popular. Remember when these came out? I think they came out, they came out like 2017, 2018. Guys, these NFTs were about maybe like £34. And some of them have sold for hundreds of thousands of pounds. Some of them have actually been hacked from people, famous people like, Serena Williams and Eminem have bought them. Do you know what I mean? They've become like statement pieces. I would call this photo for photo NFT. And we'll talk about like the different types probably in our next lesson. But yeah, so these are our Bored Ape Yacht Clubs. And next to it is a CryptoPunk. These are like the OGs, the originals that came out in the space. They came out on OpenSea, where people were buying and selling NFTs calmly. All the time, they're like, £34, but they went to £100. But then there came this massive boom in non-fungible tokens, and they just like went off. And you see, that's one thing about being in something early and on time. And I try to get people to realize, like, for example, opportunities like that I've had maybe that were in December, or like we've had in Discord that were in December or in May or in March or in January, those are gone. That doesn't mean that there aren't going to be other opportunities. There are always opportunities, but it's like you can't go back and relive an old trade. So that's why I tell people that whatever it is in life that you do, regardless, opportunity does not knock twice. And it's just about being bold enough to just go for it, whatever it is. Like, I'm just saying this in general terms, completely outside of NFTs, just in your life as a whole, whatever it is, just go for it. Honestly, I feel like we're wired. Well, I don't know, I'm not going to generalize, but sometimes I feel like I'm wired to just think of all the things that could possibly go wrong. I never even consider what could go right. One of the reasons why I actually started training NFTs was just like, my mom didn't raise me to be a punk. Like, I actually have to just start taking control of my life rather than just like lying back and just watching everything happen. So honestly, guys, whatever opportunity is, be bold enough to ask. And that's even outside of work. That's just in your personal life as well. And, your relationships. Tell people how you feel about them. Don't be scared to tell people how you feel about them. Like all these little different things. I don't know. That's just me personally. I don't know what you guys think. But I just think, say what it is that's on your heart. Do what's on your heart. Rest as well, and all those different things. And just make sure that you just go for things and know that you are capable and competent about to do it. I'm always asking, do they have two heads? I don't know if you've heard that statement before. Why I always get asked, do they have two heads? And no, they don't. So what is stopping you from doing whatever it is that you want to do within reason anyway? So yeah, so then Bored Ape Yacht Clubs, they're about 99 Ethereum right now. And because we are in a bearish market, maybe like 100,000. If you want to buy one, cost you 100,000. Technically, they are on sale because they were selling for like 500,000 not too long ago, a few months ago. Some 1 million. This one that I put, this CryptoPunk in the middle, these guys were like £1, £2, £3. They're like one of the original ones. I think they came out first. They don't even have a floor price, which means that like their price is like unknown. So you probably see them sell for 1 million, or they'll be traded for other tokens, like in a separate private transaction. And then lastly, we've got someone called Tom Sachs. He's just like someone that's like a creative in the space. I don't know if you've seen his collaboration with Nike. But yeah, this is his rocket launcher. And you can see he's got the dog from Family Guy. Like, and you know what's so funny? That NFT is like $3,000. Sometimes I look at NFTs and I just giggle because it's just ridiculous. Like, I can't just go outside to someone, like for example, the elderly gentleman that cleans the estate. I can't go out to him and tell him, listen, I sell like PNGs on the internet for a living, but I can tell people that are in our generation, because we're growing up in a generation whereby, first off, we have no excuse not to make it. Let me tell you why. Number one, the internet is so vast. It's like this massive library of information. You can access any information that you really need to if you are willing to go about, learning something new. There is lots and lots of resources across all apps, wherever you want to be, whether it's on Google, whether it's on TikTok. There's so many ways to learn. Number two, we are connected more than ever. And we're in a generation or in a vibe right now whereby people just want to see normal people doing normal things. And there are so many ways for you to get yourself out there and market yourself and be yourself and actually monetize you being yourself. Number three, like I said, we are connected more than ever, and there is just so many people. And if you think that there is no market for you, you got it all wrong. There are so many people that you can reach out to and grow a network with, and it's good to go out there and just be and just exist and travel and see different places. And we have so much access now. Access is everything, because before we were very limited. Well, I would say we, because it's not us, maybe like the boomers, like boomer 2, boomer 3, because obviously we are Gen Z. So like people who were boomers, they are the ones that obviously grew up in an age whereby it was more paper. Now we're more or less going paperless, so more or less going paperless. Everything is contactless, all these different things, and that's just going back to the techno age that we're in. We're losing sense of actually needing physical things. Everything is kind of like now just being stored on the cloud. So yeah, so I think that's also increased the popularity of NFTs as well. Next page. Right, okay, I just wanted to do a quick recap. Excuse me. So what is crypto? Oh, should I do that? 1 second. Yeah, let me do that. Sorry, I'm just catch up on my slides. So what is crypto? A cryptocurrency, or cryptocurrency, however you like to write it, or just crypto. I call it crypto for short, but crypto does stand for cryptocurrency. It's a digital currency designed to work as a medium of exchange through a computer network that is not reliant on any central authority, such as a government or bank, to uphold or maintain it. And I'm going to explain what that means. I don't know if you guys have ever seen me use the term DeFi. DeFi, if anybody was in puzzle, one of the puzzle winners, then you probably have seen the word DeFi. DeFi stands for decentralized finance. So, for example, when I get into wallet stuff, which is actually going to be in our next lesson, this will make a bit more sense, I think. But DeFi is basically what crypto is. And I think why a lot of people were drawn to crypto and why a lot of people at the same time were actually put off crypto is because you are in complete control. You have this thing, it's called self-custody. You are actually in complete control of your money. And that is liberating, but also scary at the same time. I say that all to say, there is no, for example, if you like share your wallet address or you integrate with something and you accept it to have permission to your wallet address, then your account could be drained, for example. And it's like, when, like, for example, like in the real world, well, not in the real world, but in the physical world where, maybe your account is hacked, or I don't know if you guys, unfortunately, have ever been a victim of, someone's just bought your CC by chance on the dark web using crypto, most likely, using Bitcoin. But yeah, has bought your CC on the dark web and just come ditched your card. Now you see like this odd transaction. But obviously, you have a way of going about that. I don't recognize this transaction. I'm gonna call up my bank, tell them, I didn't do this. It's unauthorized. Here's the evidence. And what your bank will do is they will investigate, come back to you, it's 5 to 10 working days, tell you here's the verdict, get you your refund back, and then maybe do something to help secure your card, maybe issue you a new CC. I don't know. So that is like that's an example of what would happen in the real world. Alternatively, if you have your wallet is safe, don't get me wrong. But if you integrate with things that are like phishing websites, like for example, one time I really thought Fenty Beauty was doing 50% off. Like, do I not have shame? But I really thought Fenty Beauty was doing 50%, and I went on the website and it looked so good. It's like, oh wow, 50% off. It's me just putting in everything in my basket, highlight, lip gloss, all of that, just to find out the website is completely fake. So I checked out on this website, and so obviously they've got my card details, taking the money. Then I realized, well, I haven't even got a tracking update, shipping update. Go back to the website just to realize it's not real. So obviously I'm able to contact my bank, but alternatively, if I was to go to a website to maybe buy some NFTs, to like mint some NFTs, and the website was like fake, or I clicked a fake link and I didn't realize, then what would happen is my wallet would be drained. So anything that I had at that time in the wallet would be taken out. There's nothing I can do about it. Why? Because that is decentralized finance. I can't call the government, I can't call my bank and say, oh, I've lost everything that's in my wallet. No, it doesn't work that way. At the same breath, if I was to have a job and when I got paid from it, I would obviously have to pay, my national insurance, my tax, all of these things before I even receive the money. That's not what happens here. As soon as someone buys something off you or sends you something, it's actually instantaneous. So you get it. There is no 5 working days or working days. And even when you send that money back to an exchange, I'll explain later, and you withdraw it to bring the crypto back into real world currency, it's actually like clockwork. So it actually just happens maybe in the next 24 hours. But yeah, when you are just trading genuinely during the day, it's actually instantaneous transactions. They're like this, like this, like this, like this. I remember when I made my first sale, I bought like this pass. It's called a sandbox pass. I'll explain different types of NFTs, but sandbox is, I'll show you this later actually. Unless you guys want to see it now. If you want to see it now, leave a comment, I'll show you sandbox. But I remember I bought the pass for like £66, and then I wanted to sell the pass a few days later, and then I ended up selling it for like £5. And this is my first sale. So when I saw like £5 just enter my account, I was like, Jesus. I was like, Jesus, I've never seen anything like that, because I just thought that's not how it works. Maybe I worked with like, a few days to receive it because it's quite a lot of money, but no, it just entered my wallet, my MetaMask wallet, which I'll show you guys soon, instantaneously. So as soon as someone bought it, like I was telling you about the smart contracts, as soon as someone buys it, it's gone. You can't get it back. You sold your token. At the same time, you get what you want out of it, which is what you put as the price of the token, what you wanted to sell for. Yeah. So the crypto, decentralized finance, but what they are trying to do, especially in places like America, they are trying to bring in the control of banks to uphold and maintain it. But that kind of defeats the whole purpose of crypto, because crypto is meant to actually give us autonomy for once. Isn't it nice to actually genuinely be able to have control over your money, what you do with it, where it goes, who you send it to, without all these ifs, ands, and buts and questions, like just genuine autonomy. As I've gotten older, I'm like, wow, like I really am not in control of anything. Like even how I've been, I remember when I came back from Portugal, and I was actually at the airport and I was watching news. I was like, Christ, Harvard and what's his name? And Sunak, they called it quits. They've given in their letter of resignation. So I was quite surprised. Like, oh, why have just gone a few days? What's going on? And then come to see that, Boris finally resigning, even after the disgrace of Sugray and all that. So I was just like, wow, like we are ran by absolute thugs that do not pay their taxes and then condemn Russians in broad daylight, even though their wife is in bed with them financially. So it just makes me realize that everything is a bit of a joke. And we actually control nothing. It's almost like we're like these little puppets in the system, and we all serve Queen Elizabeth. Everything we do for Eliza and the Elizabeth line. So it's just funny. So when I why I really like crypto is because for the first time, I actually have something that I control by myself. Do you know what I mean? I actually have autonomy of my money, and I actually have like self-custody of my money. Obviously, when I've withdrawn it, because I've withdrawn quite large amounts, I have myself a fantastic accountant called Roland. Get yourself an account called Roland. Trust me, save your life. Open up like either, depending on what you do, LLC or a sole proprietorship, and try to get like most of your money back, because otherwise in this life you will pay 40% out in taxes and still pay 100% of your bills. So it's quite difficult sometimes, but obviously crypto has really helped me kind of just like bridge the gap a bit. And investments as a whole, that's why it's important to invest. You need to find something that you are happy to invest in. And I'm going to go through a few others later on in the day, and probably in the later afternoon. So please just bear with me, guys. But it's good to have investments, because you have to have your money work for you. Otherwise, you are always just going to be tired. It is not easy to make even a pound in this economy, or even a pence. People will walk past you and not give you a pence, even if you needed it. So it is extremely tough. So it's important to see what ways you can help yourself. So yeah, I hope my little explanation of what DeFi means or decentralized finance means, it just means that the banks do not have control of this and the government does not have control of it either. But they are trying to clamp down on it though, because obviously I remember seeing a tweet from Sunak saying that he wanted to make London the world's crypto hub. And people do use crypto. A lot of people, especially the Russians during this time where, remember when they had all their assets frozen? Oh, they were laundering their money through NFTs, which was good for us because there was a lot of money in the market at the time. But yeah, let me read what you guys are saying in the chat. Yes. Yeah, sure. Oh yes, we want to see it now. Ah, okay. I remember when that happened. Oh my days. Ellen, you do? Do you remember? Wait, what do you mean? Isn't that my first sale? I remember because the other day I literally had a snap that popped up. And I was like, oh my God, not me making £5,000 this morning. Not the Fenty. Oh, the Fenty, fair enough. All right, okay, cool. Yeah, I remember, I don't know. Yeah, I definitely fell victim to that, like a sucker. But yes, you want to see it now. Okay, fantastic. I will put that up on the screen right now. We could just do a little demo then. I actually have a slide for demos because I'm such a nerd. So let's do a little live demo. But yeah, so also on the note of taxes, are taxes paid on investments the same way they are paid on income from employment? Yeah, so how it starts at first is you will most likely have to declare what you have in crypto. So the way I go about it is I kind of split myself. And I think maybe what I'll do is when you guys get your NFT cheat sheet, I'll put more details on this. Excuse me. But what happens is, as a whole, everybody's made to or told to declare what they have in crypto, just to declare what they have in crypto. What you do in terms of like everyday sales and stuff like that is completely decentralized. Like the UK doesn't really have governing laws like that unless you live in the US. I know the US has been getting laws, something like that. So it's something that you'd have to maybe take a look into. But it's something not to worry about now because I know that 90% of you don't even have a crypto wallet set up just yet. Why? Because I asked you guys to give me your wallet address and nobody sent me theirs because I was going to airdrop you your NFT, which is perfectly okay. You don't have to have done it at this point. We have plenty of time to do that anyway. But it's not something for anyone to be too worried about in a sense. But when I do it, it is kind of in the same way. So what I do is I kind of like chop down my whatever I make from NFTs and crypto. How I declare it is I actually spend my running costs. Like for example, I declare this place, I get money off my taxes for this place because this is my studio. I describe this place as an office. So every time I have to pay my rent, I will mark down this as something that is my running cost, my office. Also my phone bill, I declare this as well, like obviously having a business phone, which means I will get money back from my contract, what I use for like the particular minutes I spend calling people, all that type of stuff. So anything that I do that is in investment wise that actually helps me to run my business, the running cost of my business, that's how I kind of chop things down as well. Another way to actually reduce your taxes, it's what all these rich white men do. They have non-profit organizations so they can have tax-free money. But guys, I can only just tell you in words the level of fraud that goes on in this country, and all the only people that really get taxed is us little fish in the pond. We're the ones that are upholding the entire economy. But trust me, people above, not really, not really, especially if you know how to write your books. Not really, or you have someone that can write your books. So yeah, as a whole, flat out, you're meant to just declare how much you have in crypto. That's the first step. Second step is if you actually do start withdrawing back out profits. So I actually, because I have a sole proprietorship, I have a business account. My business account is actually with Barclays, and I have a PayPal business account as well. I have a collaboration, a partnership with PayPal. So that's where I can take like quite large sums because, like I said, you see, one of the things that we like about crypto, you can receive any amount of money back. I'm not even kidding. I'm not joking. People have millions sat in their MetaMask. Do you know what MetaMask is? Don't worry. You have a personal starter kit. It is in there, but I'll also show you during the presentation. So people will have like hundreds of thousands in their wallet. And if they sell an NFT like a Bored Ape Yacht Club for like 100 bags right now, they will get that 100 bags like this. Literally, like people have bought houses from making it monies with NFTs. So Honestly, and for the most part, because it's decentralized, there is not really much governing laws on it. So do not feel any anxiety at all when it comes to that. So yeah, that's kind of how it's set up. It's meant to kind of be split 60-40, but it depends on what your income band is as well. That also affects how much you pay in tax. But like I said, if you're using that money to do things that are actually improving your state, your business, and it just depends on if you are employed at the moment and if you like what band you're in, and as well as if you are not, if you are LLC or if you are a sole proprietor. So like when it comes to tax, it will have to be on a case by case basis, but that's just me talking in general terms. And what I will do, based on this conversation we just had, I will create like a little product guide for you guys as well. So just so that you are aware. But honestly, when you are getting started and you haven't even made like your first grand, don't even feel any type of way, especially if you're not even ready to withdraw anything and you're just trying to build up your Solana. Because right now we are in a bearish market. So our all-time high was actually about £212 and 50 pence for one Solana, and maybe like just under 4 grand for Ethereum. Right now, I think Ethereum is like maybe like 1.2, 1.4. I will show you guys a site that you will need to be using now that if this is what you choose to do. But yeah, we are kind of in the bearish market right now. So I think Solana is like 38, 40 pounds at the moment. But what we think, based on our predictions, in about maybe 2 years, we think that Solana will actually peak its all-time high. It will be much higher than it was last November. So that is something that we can really look forward to as well. So let me show you guys this live demo, right? You guys are going to see the sandbox. So let me show you, excuse me. Oh, what's going on? I'm just gonna open another Chrome tab. Where my tabs at? All right, okay. I will stop sharing quite, I think, quickly. I will quickly stop sharing just so that I can show you guys this as well. Chat. No problem, DF. I don't know if you can tell me your names, guys. Also feel free to tell me your names. And also, does anybody have any questions thus far? Because I have loaded you with a lot of information. And to be honest, we are due for a break. So let me show you guys this. And then I can get you guys have a break. I just realized I've just been talking at you all this time. I'm so sorry. Let me just open up this sandbox game so you guys can have a gander and see what like a NFT kind of game looks like. I can have a quick tour of this. This was quite a good one. This one sent me quite well when I started. So open Zoom again. I hope you guys cannot hear my laptop. My laptop's an oldie but a goodie. Yeah, guys, so this is the sandbox. So this is welcome to the metaverse. You've probably seen me talk lots about the metaverse just because it's kind of metaverse and the Web3 kind of go hand in hand. A lot of companies, you know, from Gucci to Nike to Adidas to basketball players like Shaq, like to rappers of the day, Ice Cube, to people we know more commonly, tennis players, like just people as a whole have showed extreme interest in the metaverse because what do you want to do? You want to be a founder. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to be someone that has created a product or something or own something that people need, people use. And one of the things that I really like about NFTs is it allows me to not have to do everything by myself. Like sometimes I'm up at 3 a.m. I'm like, Jesus Christ, like I need to like have like 10 businesses and like own like 20 plus of land, and I need to be in a Daniel Mac video and they need to ask me what do I do for a living and I say real estate. Do you know what I mean? Like I just think about like 500 things that I need to do in my life. I'm just one person with 2 hands and 2 eyes that just about work, by the way. So yeah, so what I like about NFTs is that there's different types. There's ones where you can hold them and you can get royalties for just holding them. There's ones that like it will be like a token and this token gives you royalties of like a casino. And you know one thing about human beings, they love to gamble. So every week you get paid for holding this particular token. There's tokens that you can actually stake and then you get money literally every 24 hours. You can either withdraw the money into your wallet or you can just let it accumulate. I personally, I withdraw every week for the ones that I do stake, just because anything can happen in the night, anything could disappear. Like I said, this is decent. It could get hacked. This is like what we risk when we take this. So there's always associated risk with any type of investment, whether you're investing in starting your own business. There's no guarantee you see your business to fruition or your business will make it. Most businesses fail. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, but that's because it's a lot to run a business as well. So every type of investment always carries risk, and NFTs are no different. They're quite volatile as well, especially because we can all see what each other is doing, but it does work. That's the incredible thing. So this is called the sandbox. So I basically sold a pass. I gave you access to play one of their game demos, like their first original game demos. So you could actually play inside the game. You can see like these are actually people running around in the game. It kind of reminded me of, Sims, Habbo Hotel, And in this, there's actually like a marketplace. So you can buy the tokens that are affiliated with this, and you can buy land. Guys, this land, let me show you on OpenSea. This land is going for $2,000, and it's like literally 1 by 1 pixel. These pieces of land, guys, they used to be £5, £10, £20, £25. And if you think $2,000 is a lot, you're mistaken, because they actually peaked. Some of these were going for like 20 grand, 30 grand. And if I show you the map, the type of companies that have bought up the land, they've bought it. And you see, that's one thing about life that's not fair. It is so hard to make money in this. I keep going off on tangents. I hope you guys don't mind. But I'm one of those people, like, I just love going into a bit of a speech. But it's so incredibly difficult to make money in this life. And once you make money, making more money becomes piss easy. I swear, like making more money becomes piss easy once you've actually made some money. Because companies, all they do, they come in with that initial investment because they've got it, and they're able to buy up property, literally buy up, whether it's virtual, whether it's in real life, and they're able to flip it or sell it for profit or whatever they need to do for it. You can see some of them, depending on what the size of the land is and the location, if it's close to amenities, like this is actually like a metaverse whereby people in the coming years will be going on here to play games, and people will be renting their space. They will rent the plot of land, they will build something on it, they will rent it. There is an NFT project that is in the Discord at the moment. I believe it's still affordable, that we are quite interested to see where this NFT project will be in the next 1 to 3 years. We think it could be something spectacular, because basically it's like these rooms that are existent in a tower, and depending on how many rooms you have, I think I've got about 10, maybe. All I need is this, just to maybe hit like 3 grand, and it's a good day for me. But it's like all these, there's this massive tower in a different metaverse called Decentraland. I will show you this as well. And you basically have rooms in this tower, and in those rooms you can sell them. You can actually go into them. If you put like your virtual reality goggles on, you can actually go into these rooms. It will be like a whole little hub, something very similar to what Sandbox has done. It's just that they are much earlier in their development. Like I said, it is so much better to come when something was £25 rather than when it's actually $2,000, or when it's I can show you the peak as well, because activity, let's see, because it was much higher than this. Like it was much higher than this. You can see the sales here as well in the corner. This is OpenSea. If by any chance you've actually taken a look at the personal starter kit, I mean, you probably had a gander of OpenSea, but you can see all the pieces of land still selling, still selling. People are buying them up. This is a really good time to buy as a whole. Why? Because it's a bearish market. So a lot of times people, one thing about human psychology, and I'll tell you this for free, something for you to learn as well, is I've observed from myself and just people as a whole, people are always attracted to things that they perceive to be doing well. Why? Because we all want better for ourselves. We all want to constantly improve, be works of progress, and we're attracted to things that we think are doing well because it's something that we would like to emulate. But at the same time, it's good to also be attracted to things that are building. Why? Because if you are in that phase where you are going through something when it's building, you actually just get to reap the enjoyment at the end. I find a lot of mistakes that people make is that they come in when something's really at its peak, when it's high, when it's expensive, and what if it just troughs after that? What if the hype dies down, or things don't go as you expected, and then you have that onset of that falling? Because sometimes things go up like this, they peak, obviously everyone's like, oh my God, like I don't want to miss out. So they come in at the peak. But then after that, it could actually just be this imminent drop. And it may still slow and, you know, do well later. But ideally, where you would want it to have been is when this was £25. Because then look at the upscale. You can still definitely make money off this, because this used to be like six bags. Some of these were going for like 6,000 just a couple months ago. So for it to be 2,000 now is ideal as well, and people are still constantly investing in this. Snoop Dogg is like their influencer. I don't know if you've seen Snoop Dogg make his little advert about the sandbox, but Snoop Dogg is like really into the metaverse. He's such a funny guy. But yeah, so literally, so 1 pixel of land now, depending on where the location is like basically $2,000. But some of these guys actually minted it, you know, and actually some of them may have got it for like £5, some may have got it for 25, because that's actually what the price was. But I just think that the more comfortable spot is going from £25 to $6,000 or like £25 to $2,000 if you held on to it. That's another thing I was going to say as well. I find a lot of times people also get emotionally attached to their NFTs. Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm just talking, aren't I? I should let you go for a break. I really should. Okay, let me just finish on this point. But I find a lot of times people sometimes they get attached to their NFTs. And in our next segment, we are going to talk more about like NFTs, why they have value, will they always have value, and all these different things. So we're going to explore that a bit more. But it's good to not form emotional attachments to your NFTs, and it's good to sell. I try to encourage people always sell, because nothing is ever real till you sell and you actually take that profit home for real. So yeah, we'll talk about that more when we get to like trading strategies and all that type of stuff. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys this example of quite a successful metaverse that they're building. And this is the map that I was telling you about. Like you can see this is a CryptoPunk. These CryptoPunks, some of them, I think the highest selling CryptoPunk went for 24 million. 24 million. This is Binance. They're quite a popular exchange. So they own this massive plot of land right here. You can just see other brands, Ubisoft. Don't know if any of you guys are gamers, but Ubisoft, they're a big gaming company. They're invested in this as well. So this is a massive project that has got massive funding, and you guys can just see, like, look at the little 1x1 pixels that are going for 2 bags. So it just goes to show like what we perceive as value. Like obviously you guys weren't aware that this was going on. And look at Adidas is right there in the corner as well. You know, so I don't know if you guys see any brands that you recognize. This is Shiba Inu. I know some people invested in Shiba Inu. It was like what we call a shit coin. It was good maybe if you got in at the right time, but it's not ideal long term. This is World of Women, quite a popular NFT as well. So really big, heavy investors in this project. I think this is Saul Big Brain. So this is Saul Big Brain. He's got like massive stake. He's like a whale in the NFT space. So look at his land. So whatever, if it's your land, you get to build whatever you want on it. And then you will just make way more money that way, because then you can actually do things. So yeah, you can see Saul Big Brain. He's one of the people that I follow, I quite admire as well. That's like build up his NFT wealth. He's got ridiculous amounts of money, and he rarely ever sells anything, but he can afford that luxury. Not all of us can afford to hold on to our NFTs forever. So yeah, I think let you guys have a break. Sorry, I've been talking at you so much, but I hope you've understood a little bit. If you like, please feel free to drop a question. We could start our next session with answering those questions. So feel free to type a question. But I'll let you guys go for a break. I would like to give you guys maybe 15 minutes, if that's okay. I'll give you guys 15 minutes, just compensate on time, because we should have gone on break by now. I don't want you guys to feel like I'm talking at you too much. Brenda, yeah, I think 15 minutes is nice. You guys can maybe grab a little bite. I know, oh my gosh, we are approaching lunchtime. Obviously, when I've scheduled lunch for is a little bit later. So I'll give 15, 20 minutes. So you guys can at least grab a bite, you know, have a drink, and maybe drop me a question as well for me to answer. I'm more than glad to answer that for you as well. What else? Yeah, so 15, 20 minutes. So let's say, okay, so it's about to approach basically 10 past. So if we say 15, 20 minutes, we could come back maybe 12, 12:28, 12:30. So that at least by 12:30, we're back up and running. We're gonna do the next session. Then we'll have another break, and then we'll do 2 sessions. What we could do, we could just smash out the 2 sessions, and then have a lunch, have a nice lunch for an hour, and then we can come back again and then finish up the session. And then if you want to join the optional, the Q&A bit is optional. It's not by force. You can always watch the playback. But if you'd like to be in the Q&A bit, and where we just talk more general terms, then yeah, feel free. But yeah, guys, feel free, pop out, or if you just want to stay, but in the chat or go do something, feel free. But yeah, it's definitely break time. I'm so sorry, I didn't know I was talking so much. Yeah, presentation there. I could definitely do it with a snack. I'm feeling super snacky right now. Okay, so yeah, okay.